Now let's focus on the vertical motion. The velocity of this particle u has two components, u cos theta, the horizontal component, and u sin theta, the vertical component. There is no force acting in the horizontal direction. However, there is a force, there is the gravitational force acting in the downward direction, which will be pulling the particle in the downward direction and reducing its velocity. So the vertical velocity gradually reduces and becomes zero at the topmost point. Then again, when it falls, the velocity increases due to gravity, and finally when it touches the ground, the velocity becomes equal to u sin theta. Now let's calculate the time for which the particle stays in air, that is the time of flight. Here's the logic. The particle starts from the ground with a velocity u, the vertical component being u sin theta and the horizontal component u cos theta, which is not required for the calculation of time because time is affected by the vertical motion only. Initially the particle starts from ground and finally it reaches the ground, so there is no net vertical motion. So to find the time of flight, we can use the second equation of motion, which is S is equal to initial velocity u into t plus half at square, where a is the acceleration. This was the second equation of motion. And in this case, considering the motion is in one y direction only, the displacement s becomes 0. The initial vertical velocity being u sin theta, it will be u sin theta into t is the time of flight, that is capital T. We are denoting the time of flight by capital T. The acceleration is directed opposite to motion, so a will become minus g, and hence we can write minus half gt square. So this equation can be reduced to t is equal to 2u sin theta by g.